Aside the stakes, I just want to watch this draft deck.
Me too. Me too. I want to see what an opening hand looks like.
There's going to be some doozies. I mean,
Vampiric Rites, Desolation Twin Part the Waterveil lands.
there's several combos woven in that hand.
Yep.
Desolation Twin produces 2 creatures. That's pretty good with Vampiric Rites.
Yep.
Taking another turn, also good with them.
Can't mulligan that hand. It's got all your best cards.
Yeah, exactly.
What are you going to do? Does it get any better?
If you're going to mulligan a hand like that, you might as well not even show up to the tournament. Originator of that quote, after keeping a 1-lander on the play and losing, Paul Rietzel. If I'm going to mulligan hands like that, I'm just not going to show up to the tournament.
One day Paul is going to come into the booth.
I know. I'm worried. I'm stressing.
We'll be out of jobs.
I'm stressed out about it constantly.
Yeah, we'll be out of jobs. The booth was made for him.
Yep.
Both players going to take a look at their 7 cards. We will be underway here with the quarterfinals in just a moment.
Good voice, good face, just says hilarious stuff all the time. Smart dude.
Yep.
Lot to like.
Wisnitzer's going to keep. Black is going to keep. We're underway. Here we go. An island here for Aryeh. Mortuary Mire there for Black.
Was not expecting this to end up in the deck just because of the volume of lands that Sam has that comes into play tapped, but
Here's a Fertile Thicket.
does have some powerful stuff to get back.
Absolutely he does. He gets to reveal a land. He's thinking about taking that card that he set aside. And he will. He'll take an island.
Step 1.
It's all online.
Well, not quite because he has double black, double blue, and possibly double green, but we're off to a good start.
Okay, okay. To Wiznitzer. An island. Pass the turn. For Black. A Catacomb Sifter. That's going to resolve. Pass the turn.
One of the most powerful regular Magic cards in Sam's deck.
Yeah. Remember, he took that over in Endless Ones.
Which was a pick that I liked a lot.
It was very close.
Yes, I think it was close, but I like that pick.
Cloud Manta. Pass the turn back. To Black we go. It's a forest. In comes the Catacomb Sifter. Quick update for you guys here. Tom Martell very quickly up a game. He is rushing to get a feature match. That's what he's doing. He is rushing to the semifinals so he can have a feature.
If you keep winning, we can't stop you because eventually the finals start.
That's true. And then we just have to have you on camera, Tom.
Sam with a voided tenant to follow up.
Yep. Another just normal card from his deck.
Yeah. It's a card that I've never been able to activate in my life. It's just never, the moons have never aligned to allow me to activate this card.
Here comes Cloud Manta. Black will fall to 17. And now an Oracle of Dust. So we head back Sam's way. He'll draw a card.
Sam's got to be pretty happy about the cards he's seen out of Wisnitzer's deck so far. It's not a terribly fast clock.
I wouldn't be too concerned right now if I'm Sam. Don't really know what's going on over there, but this isn't the end of the world. He'll sacrifice that Eldrazi Scion. He'll get the Scry because of the Catacomb Sifter. And it looks like he's got something maybe pretty large on the way. He's going to leave that card on top. Now he'll play a Wavewing Elemental and simply pass the turn back. Over to Wiznitzer we go. He'll draw. For Wiznitzer, 2 copies of Complete Disregard in the deck. I think he might be playing his first one.
Incoming.
Yep. Waving Elemental. Exiled. Cloud Manta across for 3. Oh, and Turtenwald, by the way, up a game here very quickly. As now there's a Dominator drone. That'll drain. And now we're going to go back Sam Black's way.
I think if Wiznitzer knew the deck lists here, he would have also set in the Oracle of Dust. It looks good to hold back the 3/5 against 2/3s, but Sam's deck has no interest in dealing combat damage, like little pieces of combat damage.
There's a Grave Birth, and yeah, he just wants to play as long a game as possible. Kill you with an Eldrazi. That's it. Evolving Wilds is the land for the turn. See, Wiznitzer wants to take a look at that green card. The Void Attendant, not familiar with it. It's actually one we haven't seen all weekend long.
Yep. Making its debut. 2-3 with a lot of rules text that is in practice flavor text.
The coils have gotten very tight on the Cloud Manta.
Slowing it down, that's step one. So Black's deck, a little vulnerable in the air.
Yep. Over to Wiznitzer we go. Aryeh with a couple of cards in hand here. Looks like a Mind Raker among them. He'll attack with the Dominator Drone.
Protecting a Void Attendant block.
That's your read?
This is my guess.
Evan Smith up a game here very quickly over Dan Musser.
Oh, no blocks.
Just taking it. All right. This top 8 moving along very quickly. As now there's a Wavewing Elemental on Wiznitzer's side. Black is going to sacrifice that Evolving Wilds. And we'll be going to his turn in just a moment. One thing we did notice this weekend, it was readily apparent. The sealed deck games take a little while. The draft games do not.
So I'm assuming here, if Sam ran a no block there, there's a reasonable chance that, Smothering Abomination's on the way and he's trying to keep as much stuff in play as possible.
Okay.
Smothering Abomination also can block 3-power creatures next turn. So this is my best guess.
Perhaps he's got big, big plans.
Well, that's no doubt about that.
Yeah. Black will draw. I think it was a Fertile Thicket. But who knows what the draw steps are going to be from this deck.
Played games against decks like Sam over my 15 years of playing Limited Magic. And all you can do is just keep attacking and hoping nothing too bad happens. Like, I don't know exactly what's going on over there.
A Rolling Thunder could come out of that deck. Who knows? There's Smothering Abomination. You called it.
Well, that was I think that was the only rationale for Sam turning down a trade last turn with the Dominator Drone, given what the light tolls are like.
Here's Fertile Thicket. Take a look at the top couple of cards there. Find a land, put it on top. It is a you may, of course. And they're all going to the bottom. Anything else for Sam Black this turn? He's starting to build up a pretty nice board here. Looks like the answer is no.
And if Wiznitzer doesn't have a land or a removal spell, a land allows him to trigger landfall on the Wavewing Elemental. If he that has neither of those, he can't really attack this turn.
Well, he's got a Mortuary Mire. That'll trigger the Wavewing Elemental, turn into a 5/6. Nothing to return there in the graveyard. Be surprised if he doesn't attack.
Well, there's no question the Wavewing Elemental's coming in. It's just a question of, is there anything else? Doesn't seem like combat's very good for Wiznitzer without a trick otherwise.
Well, he's reaching for some mana here, so it feels like he's got something. And it appears that he does. Adverse conditions.
That's really bad news for Sam.
Yes, it is. And here come the beatdowns.
Oh, it happened.
Yeah. He'll get to activate that void attendant to make an Eldrazi Scion.
Sack them, gas up a little bit.
Oh yeah.
Or making moves.
Catacomb Sifter there. Eldrazi Scion there. Some damage will be dealt. And there will be a scry from Catacomb Sifter, I believe, because the Scion does die. Catacomb Sifter does not scry from itself. So top card going to go to the bottom here for black. He's down to 4. He's still in some trouble. Upkeep. Going to sacrifice. Why do I think he has Part the Water Veil in hand?
Well, I think he's short the double blue.
And he does need an island to be able to do it. It would be helpful here.
Be really good. Nice answer to adverse conditions.
Yep.
He also could have followed up with a blister pod. He has enough mana for that, and then just start turning it over, you know?
Yeah. See how black can wiggle his way out of this situation. Right now, that Wavewing Elemental could be presenting lethal next turn. It would require a land from Wiznitzer. You see Sam kind of shaking his head. He knows he's in some trouble here. Perhaps he made a mistake.
I'm not sure if he sacrificed his Scion before damage. He would have gotten a card off the Smothering Abomination that way. It says whenever you sacrifice a creature, so it's not just to the Smothering Abomination's trigger, it's any sacrifice outlet, so very good with the Scions in general.
Yeah. And he will concede the game. Aryeh Wiznitzer up a game here over Sam Black. The blue-black deck here from Wiznitzer. Nothing too flashy there. Pretty straightforward magic. Does win game number 1 here over Samuel Black. And that's the second or third time we've seen adverse conditions be cast. Looks pretty good.
Yeah, it's Black's going to be pretty good at gumming up the works here. The card's mostly for matchups that are about damage racing, but Sam here, who's trying to really slow the game down, bog it down with some blockers and making combat complicated. I don't know if it's going to be good against this deck 100% of the time. It was really specifically good against Smothering Abomination there, but it was timely.
Well, Sam Black going to the sideboard immediately. It looks like Wiznitzer is going to do the same. Don't know what other kind of crazy toys Sam Black does have in his board. Dispel does look kind of appetizing here. That might be an option here. Some other options on his side. He's going to take a long look through that sideboard as he's down a game. For Wisnitzer's side, he's got a Dispel of his own. Helmer Tidecaller in the sideboard. Looks like he's got nothing to awaken. Silent Skimmer. Well, that's in color.
I think it's pretty hard for Sam to bring in the Dispel. A couple reasons. One is blue's kind of a splash color, and Dispel after splash can be a little rough. The second, his deck's trying to do a lot of different things, and I think most of his game plan involves invalidating what's happening on the other side of the table, not really trading one for one. There also weren't that many high-impact instants he saw on the other side of the deck. Complete disregard is not problematic enough for Black to go and find a counterspell for it, and I believe neither is adverse conditions.
Well, as far as updates are concerned, for you folks at home, Owen Turnwall, Tom Martell, Evan Smith, all currently up a game right now. Our quarterfinals not going to take very long here. You may have noticed during the coverage here today, we've gotten to do backup matches and sometimes even a third match at times because the matches are so quick here in this draft format, even though there are Eldrazi involved.
It's interesting because I can't think of a format, I'd have to go pretty far back, to where the games of Sealed and Draft felt so much different from each other.
Yeah.
I mean, the defining card, one of the defining non-rares of Sealed play is Breaker of Harpies. In Draft, it's a card we've seen float around the table. So the booster draft games are so much faster than the Sealed games, and that affects a lot of the card evaluation.
And this is a little bit strange, I must admit. We'll see if Black likes to choose to play or draw. It'll be his option here. We've seen some players draw in some situations where I say we don't expect it.
This is true.
It feels like a play first deck, but, you know, there's a lot going on with Sam's deck. He wants to get to a longer game. And Wisnitzer's deck doesn't really appear to, you know, really knock the doors down very quickly.
No, you know, you got it. I think Sam's just going to have to take the draw. I think there's too much going on with the top end he's trying to get to and all the callers of mana for him to take the play. If Wisnitzer's deck was really explosive, maybe the conversation's different, but I think that Sam will have the time on the draw.
Well, both players will shuffle up here, and we'll see what Sam Black can put together with his unique deck. And if we have time to jump over to Owen Turtenwald, we certainly will. As it's been a very impressive weekend for him, the future Hall of Famer. But for now, Black and Wiznitzer, game number 2 of our quarterfinals here from Grand Prix Atlanta. And it looks like, yeah, he selected the draw, has Sam. And Wisnitzer's a little surprised that Sam selected the draw. But both players are going to keep, and we're underway. An island there for Aryeh. For Sam, it's a lumbering falls, a little bit of fixing. A swamp there for Wiznitzer. A swamp the draw there for Black.
Trying to figure out how he wants to sequence his lands.
Yeah, that part's tough with this deck.
Little game of standard going on right now. Fertile Thicket, Lumbering Falls, Evolving Wilds. If I'm Aryeh, I'm thinking, dude, come on. But this choice is actually pretty hard.
It's actually pretty hard, yeah. It is going to be a Fertile Thicket. Tom Martell, Brian Easton going to game number 3 here. Black going to put them all to the bottom. Pass the turn back over to Wiznitzer. It's a swamp. And a benthic infiltrator.
A slow clock here, but very powerful if Wiznitzer can find one of his copies of Ulamar's spoiler.
Fertile Thicket number 2 here for Black. Doesn't look like there's even a land in the top 5 there.
And see, this is why that decision is so difficult. Sam needed to play the Fertile Thicket the previous turn to get out in front of getting ingested. If he plays Evolving Wilds first, then his Fertile Thickets are shut off for the rest of the game.
Tightening Coil is going to take care of the infiltrator. Now there's Cloud Manta again. Black will untap, take a draw. Picked up an island. Here's a swamp. Very quickly tapping some mana here is Sam. And Painful Truths for 3 is pretty nice. So he'll fall down to 17, get 3 cards. Looks like he's got 8 cards in hand.
Yeah, has to discard a hand size unless he's found a Blister Pod.
He'll discard a forest, pass the turn back, over to Wiznitzer. Wiznitzer on the aggressive with that Cloud Manta. There's an island there for Black. Here's an attack. Black will fall down to 14. And Wiznitzer will just pass the turn back, nothing doing. Fathom Feeder the draw, as we have our first victory to record here. And Owen Turtenwald getting the W with his beautiful blue-red deck. So congratulations to him. As now Fathom Feeder is the follow-up to Catacomb Sifter. You saw Spell Shrivel take care of the Catacomb Sifter.
And I think that card was definitely on Sam's radar there, and that was the test spell.
Yeah.
So if he blocks the flyer, again, he's got a lot of breathing space.
There's a Mind Raker.
Now he's got a blocker on the ground ready to go. Can handle the next follow-up play.
Yeah, the one thing that Fathom Feeder doesn't do, unfortunately, is fly. It's got 4 lines of text, much like its good friend Vile Aggregate, but neither of them fly. That said, really good card.
And Wiznitzer has enough stuff going on the ground with Mind Rakers and Dominator drones that this is guaranteed to be a block. And if Sam Black has some breathing space here, he can even use it to draw a card.
Sam considering evolving wilds for the turn. Wilds looks like it's going to be the 6th land. And it is. And now he'll just pass the turn back. Wiznitzer will draw. Here come the attacks. Black gonna block right away. He'll activate. It looks like we might have a Fathom Feeder activation here too.
Thin out the deck first and then go ahead and draw your card.
Yep. We did mention that Sam's deck has a rough time against flyers. You can see that happening right now.
This is a pretty dispiriting performance thus far because it hasn't been like a curve of Mist Intruders into Sky Spawners or so forth. It's just been one Cloud Manta and just 7 attacks. The story of the first 2 games so far.
Yeah, it really has felt that way. Dominator drone down. Sam will get to draw a card. Fathom Feeder's going to trade with the Mindbreaker. Black's going to fall down to 8. There's a land. There's Wavewing Elemental. Another flyer here against Black. Can he fight back here? He's reorganizing mana right away.
I mean, spots like this is his Black's wheelhouse, though. Behind on the board, trying to come up with some weird trades, some funky use of removal spells. He's way behind, though. He's facing lethal against just a land.
Yep. Well, the way he separated his mana certainly is interesting, isn't it? Leads you to believe a lot's going on this turn.
I mean, 2 mana set aside for Tightening Coils, potentially. That's got to be his best spells in this spot.
Mortuary Mire is going to put Fathom Feeder back on top. Grave Birthing gets him a token. Sack this. Tightening Coils. This. Fathom Feeder. Right,
okay.
He used it all. He used it all. All right.
Sam's wacky contraption lives to play another turn.
Dan Musser, Eric Smith going to game number 3 right now. The discard spell going to cause Sam to discard a couple of lands here. To Myers Malice from the sideboard here. With Awaken. Awaken of 3, not 4 there, Mr. Wiznitzer. He'll block the Awaken land. He'll fall down to 5, Will Black. Sam will draw. What can he find to get himself out of this situation? 3 mana. It's Grave Birthing again. Yep.
Keep it going.
Yep. Draw a card.
Yeah, Grave Birthing's a little unintuitive. It doesn't target a spell. It's an edict. It targets the player. So you can do it on a naked graveyard. A lot of people assume this card targets.
What's next?
That's a blocker.
That's a Pilgrim's Eye.
That's a land too.
Yep. That's 2 and 1. That's 2 for the price of 1 right there. That's what that is.
Mana and chump blockers. It's all Sam's done throughout the match thus far.
Yep.
He just got 2 in 1 card.
Yeah. Hanging on. Hanging on. Barely. Black with 2 cards in hand. Lumbering Falls sneaking on over. Maybe it's getting ready to rumble across. Wiznitzer, I think, with only 1 card in hand. Yep. He's going to draw a card for the turn. Yep. Can't block fast enough.
Just immediately in the trash can.
Yep.
Oh, come on.
Oh, geez. That's borderline cheating with the second Cloud Manta.
Another bomb.
Yeah. Black,
Yes.
dampening pulse. Life's
More
Preacher.
mana.
Yep.
Not going to die next turn.
That's true. That's true. Yep. Black gonna fall down to 1. Gonna need one hell of a draw step here. I don't know.
I don't know what it is.
I don't know what it is.
But I also don't want to suggest that there's nothing he can draw, because
Yep.
who knows?
Oracle of Dust, the play. Sam will draw. I think that may have been the Partha Water Veil. I'm not kidding. I think that may have been the Partha Water Veil.
What's it waking on that 9?
Sam's counting all of his leg. Yes.
Throw one good punch on your way out.
You have to. The awaken, you get a 6/6.
It's a lot.
That is so big.
Something to do with your turn.
That's true. Might want to use the Eldrazi sign to do it. Make sure you get that good punch in, even though a Titan Coiled creature will probably just block it.
Or Wiznitzer can go to 14.
Also an option.
Since it will be, I believe, Sam's first attack of the match.
Yeah. Yes, the Mortuary Mire is awake. Sam will be taking another turn here. Tell me there's an out.
Has to exile that, whatever that's worth.
Yeah, that part of the Waterville is going to be exiled. Too good to be in the graveyard. We'll make sure that does get fixed.
I'm assuming this match ends with Black somehow holding on this turn, and then the part of the Wild Valor getting processed somehow.
Yeah, probably. Turns on the Oracle of Dust. Bang.
Right. Bang.
It was a Bone Splinters was the draw, something that maybe would have helped him get out of that situation, but that's not going to do it. And then a Smothering Abomination after that. Aryeh Wiznitzer is going to win this match here over Sam Black, 2-0. The blue-black deck will take down the very innovative Sultai deck there from Black. We didn't get to see the fun stuff we wanted to, but hey, you know, we wanted to see the deck because we had no idea if it was great or if it wouldn't perform. Looks like it fell into the second camp, but a lot of fun nonetheless.
Sam Black, don't ever change.
No.
You are a delight to cover. It's great you're part of the Magic community. Show some creativity. Unfortunately, a lot of condiments, but no meat in that sandwich. There's a lot of setup, a lot of good stuff going on, but no way to actually stabilize